In the 1960s, scientists discovered that our planet subtly pulsates, a rhythmic throb occurring approximately every 26 seconds. It's as if the Earth possesses a colossal, almost imperceptible heartbeat. The ground beneath our feet is constantly, minutely trembling, a sensation we're usually unaware of. Yet, researchers can detect and meticulously track this phenomenon. What causes this steady pulse? Some theorize that it originates from the relentless pounding of ocean waves against the continental shelf. Picture the immense North American continent plunging into the deep abyss of the ocean floor. According to this hypothesis, the powerful waves crashing against this underwater precipice generate rhythmic pulses. It's akin to a complex set of drums, where a specific impact triggers a resonant harmonic that reverberates throughout the entire planet. If this holds true, we are fortunate that there aren't more of these harmonic bang spots, as they could amplify the Earth's tremors. Another school of thought posits that volcanic activity near a crucial location is the source of the pulsation. Consider the island of São Tomé, nestled in the Bight of Boni. We walk, run, and leap. Yet when we pause, we feel stationary. But the truth is far more dynamic. Even in perfect stillness, we're hurtling through the cosmos, carried along by our planet's relentless motion. Depending on your location, you could be spinning through space at speeds exceeding 1,000 miles per hour. This velocity peaks at the equator. Imagine a basketball spinning on your fingertip. A point on its equator travels a greater distance in a single rotation than any point closer to your finger. Consequently, the equatorial point exhibits greater speed. The Earth is a master of recycling. The very ground we stand on is constantly being transformed. Our planet's rock cycle endlessly converts rocks from one type into another. Deep within the Earth, molten magma churns. As this magma erupts onto the surface, it cools and solidifies into rock. Tectonic forces, volcanic eruptions, earthquakes, mountain formation, and all processes shaping our planet's surface. Bring these rocks to the surface. Once exposed, erosion sculpts and diminishes the rock, shaving off tiny particles. These particles are then deposited, and the immense pressure from above compacts them into sedimentary rocks, such as sandstone. Sedimentary rocks can also descend deeper into the Earth, where intense heat and pressure transform them into metamorphic rocks. These metamorphic rocks may eventually resurface or even undergo re-erosion. Sometimes the Earth's crustal plates collide, with one sliding beneath another. This process can melt rocks back into magma, completing the cycle. To date, we've explored a mere 5% of the ocean. The ocean depths and the life they harbor beneath the seafloor remain largely a mystery. The sediments underlying our oceans teem with diverse microorganisms, thriving even at depths of 1.5 miles below the seabed. Microbes reside within volcanic rocks beneath the seafloor, off the coasts of the Pacific, hidden under 870 feet of sediment. This biosphere beneath the seafloor exhibits incredibly slow growth. Cell division occurs only every 10 to 1,000 years. Intriguingly, something is influencing the Earth's axis. Climate change and the melting of glaciers, particularly in regions like the Himalayas and Alaska, have caused the axis to shift. Our planet possesses two types of poles, magnetic north and south poles, which influence navigation and drift, and the axis around which the Earth spins. This rotational axis has shifted slightly over time, though the precise reasons remain elusive. Researchers believe that moving masses of water are pushing the Earth's axis eastward. Imagine a basin of water. Moving it back and forth causes the water to slosh, shifting its weight. A similar phenomenon occurs on a planetary scale. Regardless of its magnitude, no human could possibly feel an earthquake on the opposite side of the Earth. Although some individuals claim to have experienced this in 2013 when an 8.5 magnitude earthquake struck near the Kuril Islands. Its focus was exceptionally deep, approximately 400 miles below the surface. The tremor was so potent that some people in Australia reported feeling the ground shake. The most powerful earthquake ever recorded occurred in Chile in 1960, registering a staggering 9.5 on the Richter scale. The rupture zone extended for an incredible 311, to nearly 620 miles along the Chilean coast. The Earth trembles. But could it tremble even more? Could we see earthquakes of magnitude 10 or higher? The magnitude of these colossal events hinges on the length of the fault line where they originate. The longer the fault, the more devastating the potential earthquake. Imagine a fault, a fracture in the very crust of our planet, where immense slabs of rock grind past each other. Now, picture a fault line so vast it could unleash a magnitude 10 earthquake. The truth is, we've never encountered a fault of that scale. Such a rupture would need to encircle a significant portion of the globe. A magnitude 12 earthquake? That would demand a fault line exceeding the very dimensions of our planet. Consider this. One side of our world is cooling down faster than the other. Deep beneath our feet, the Earth possesses a remarkable system for maintaining warmth. A molten fiery core churns, generating a protective magnetic field and the gravity that anchors our atmosphere. The Earth's core is the silent guardian, holding the atmosphere close to the planet's surface. Furthermore, our planet absorbs solar energy, primarily at the surface. But this heat isn't uniformly distributed. The Pacific Hemisphere, dominated by vast oceans, loses heat at a quicker rate than the African Hemisphere, which boasts extensive land masses. Land, you see, is a far more effective heat trap than the ocean floor. The oceanic crust is significantly thinner than continental land masses. Moreover, the frigid waters above the seafloor further diminish the temperature emanating from within the Earth. And what about the clouds above us? They are not merely wisps of cotton drifting lazily across the sky. These atmospheric behemoths weigh millions of pounds and are crucial in regulating our planet's temperature. Envision gathering all the water droplets from those clouds and spreading them across the Earth's surface. The resulting liquid layer would be astonishingly thin, no thicker than a human hair. Yet, this seemingly insignificant amount of water plays a pivotal role in shaping our climate. Without clouds, temperatures would soar to unbearable levels. They are the unsung heroes of our planetary climate control system, cascade of loud, booming noises that echo across the frozen landscape. This revelation provides invaluable insights into the behavior of glaciers, particularly crucial in our era of accelerating climate change. This expedition is of paramount importance, offering scientists who dedicate their lives to studying glaciers and the climates of remote regions, such as the Himalayas, critical data. The alarming rate at which glaciers are melting in that region poses a significant threat to South Asia. Recent studies indicate that glacial melt has accelerated tenfold in the last 40 years, compared to the preceding 700 years. But the story doesn't end there. Glaciers aren't the only geological features capable of producing strange and wondrous sounds. Consider the majestic Mount Matterhorn. Did you know that everything around us possesses its own unique rhythm? Objects vibrate at specific frequencies determined by their shape and composition. We've all witnessed this phenomenon with tuning forks and wine glasses. When struck at their resonant frequency, they begin to vibrate and produce sound. Now, consider this. Even mountains possess their own distinct groove. They vibrate in a manner entirely unique to them. Geoffrey Moore and his team of intrepid scientists embarked on a quest to determine if mountains, like bridges and towering skyscrapers, could dance to their own internal music. Their hypothesis centered on the idea that the unique shapes of mountains might cause them to vibrate at particular frequencies, a phenomenon known as resonance. However, testing this theory presented formidable challenges. Unlike buildings, which engineers can subject to controlled stress tests, or bridges, over which vehicles can be driven to induce vibrations, mountains are colossal, unyielding masses. Deliberately setting one in motion is no easy feat. Undeterred, Moore and his team launched an ambitious project to investigate how seismic activity influenced the iconic Matterhorn. This majestic peak, straddling the border between Italy and Switzerland, rises to an imposing 15,000 feet. Its four faces, north, south, east, and west, forming a colossal pyramid. With the aid of helicopters, the scientists strategically positioned specialized instruments called seismometers at key locations on the mountain. One, powered by solar energy and no larger than a coffee cup, was placed at the very summit. Another was carefully concealed beneath the floorboards of a cozy mountain hut. A third was stationed at the base of the mountain to provide comparative measurements. These tiny sentinels continuously recorded the mountain's subtle movements. And finally, their persistence paid off. Despite the incredibly minute scale of the mountain's movements, the scientists discovered that the Matterhorn gently sways back and forth approximately once every 2 seconds. Even more astonishingly, the summit of the mountain moves up to 14 times more than its base. The Eiffel Tower exhibits similar behavior. This colossal iron structure is remarkably adept at withstanding strong winds, and during storms it proudly displays its swaying prowess, as if to say, "Bring it on, wind!" However, wind is not the sole cause of the mountain's movement. So, what exactly causes mountains to dance and emit a humming sound? Are they engaged in some secret celebration? The answer lies in seismic energy. When earthquakes occur anywhere on the globe, their energy radiates through the earth, causing mountains to vibrate. Even the oceans participate in this grand mountain music. As waves traverse the ocean floor, they generate vibrations known as microseisms. It's as if the earth possesses its own heartbeat, felt across the entire planet. And remarkably, the frequency of these vibrations aligns with the Matterhorn's swaying motion. It's as if the mountain and the oceans are in perfect harmony. So, the next time you gaze upon a mountain, remember that it is not merely a static, unmoving object. It is an active participant in a global symphony orchestrated by the Earth itself. This research enhances our understanding of how earthquakes can affect steep, landslide, and avalanche-prone mountains. It also offers a new perspective on mountains like the Matterhorn, revealing them to be dynamic entities. But the mountains themselves possess their own hidden melodies, resonating and vibrating with a mysterious song emanating from deep within the earth. And there's something even more fascinating. Mountains might subtly influence how we speak. Imagine that, these colossal landforms shaping not only the landscape, but also our very voices. It turns out that languages spoken in high-altitude regions often feature unique sounds, unlike those found elsewhere. After an extensive study of 567 languages, linguists made a startling discovery. A remarkable 92 of them employ a distinctive type of sound called ejectives. These sounds are created by forcefully expelling air from the back of the throat, resulting in sharp bursts of speech that give these languages their unique character. Think of it like a subtle vocal explosion, adding a layer of depth to every word. Scientists were genuinely astonished by this connection. These sounds, resembling strong K and C articulations, are quite rare in English and other European languages. Yet they appear in some indigenous languages of North America and the region nestled between the Black Sea and the Caspian Sea. What makes this even more intriguing is that Tibetan languages, spoken high in the mountains, don't typically use ejectives. Linguists are now eagerly trying to unravel this mystery, seeking to understand the true nature of the link between mountains and language. So, why do some languages spoken in mountainous regions have these special sounds? Well, that remains something of an enigma. Researchers have offered some intriguing ideas. One theory suggests that these sounds might help prevent throats from drying out in the arid mountain air. Another proposes that the lower air pressure at high altitudes makes producing these sounds easier. However, scientists are still working to determine the definitive reason. While some experts remain skeptical, suggesting that factors beyond geography, like language borrowing or proximity, could explain similarities. This research has offered incredible insights. Mountains not only sculpt our world's appearance, but also shape the way we communicate. The next time you find yourself exploring a mountainous region, listen attentively to the local language. You might hear unique sounds and words influenced by the mountains themselves. It's as if nature is sharing its own special secrets through the language of its inhabitants. And remember, the mountains themselves possess a voice, communicating in their own unique way. Scientists are on an exciting quest to uncover these secrets. Let's see what amazing discoveries they make in the future. Stay tuned. Now, let's delve deeper beneath our feet. The Earth, as we know it, consists of 3 primary layers. We have the core, divided into 2 parts. The incredibly dense and hot inner core and the molten outer core. Surrounding that is the mantle, a thick, semi-molten layer. And finally, there's the thin crust, the surface that supports all life as we know it. Or at least that's what we thought. Recently, scientists have discovered a new, mysterious layer located deep within the solid inner core. Imagine this: the Earth's inner core, roughly 2/3 the size of the Moon, composed of solid iron and nickel, burning with intense heat. The temperature at the center of our planet is comparable to that at the surface of the Sun. The outer core can reach staggering temperatures of nearly 10,000 degrees Fahrenheit. Exploring this realm is incredibly challenging. We can't physically venture there. It's like trying to see through an incredibly dirty window made of 3,200 miles of molten metal and rock. However, we can rely on laboratory experiments involving heated and pressurized rocks, analyze signals from seismic waves, and use advanced computer models. When a powerful earthquake strikes, it sends out seismic shock waves that travel through the Earth's layers at varying speeds, depending on their direction and the materials they encounter. In a groundbreaking new study, a team of scientists analyzed a massive data set of 100,000 deep earthquakes, some originating over 60 miles below the surface. When an earthquake occurs on one side of the planet, scientists monitor its waves as they travel to the opposite side. These waves change as they pass through different materials, providing clues about the Earth's composition. Through this meticulous analysis, scientists have identified a previously unknown layer within the Earth's core, all thanks to the power of earthquakes. Typically, these shock waves travel along the equator. However, deep within the Earth, they diverge, veering off at angles of approximately 60 degrees. When waves pass through the inner core from north to south, they travel faster than waves moving parallel to the equator. Understanding the core is vital because it generates our magnetic field, which shields the planet from dangerous solar radiation and other harmful phenomena. Imagine the Earth itself, a giant sphere humming with unseen energies. Isolation, creating an ecosystem unlike any other on Earth. Due to this prolonged isolation, the conditions inside Moville Cave are truly unique. A thriving, self-contained ecosystem flourishes despite the perpetual darkness and toxic atmosphere. This extraordinary cave, located a few miles west of the Black Sea in Romania, was first discovered in 1986. Today, access is strictly controlled, requiring special permission. Furthermore, the central caverns are naturally guarded by narrow, treacherous passages. Imagine descending into the bowels of the Earth, navigating through constricting tunnels and vertical shafts. If you're acquainted with claustrophobia, this might not be your ideal vacation spot. Here, deep within the cave, the air is shockingly thin, containing half the oxygen we're accustomed to above ground. Instead, it's thick with carbon dioxide and hydrogen sulfide, far from the freshest air imaginable, and of course, absolute darkness reigns. Yet perhaps because of this cocktail of brutally harsh conditions, this place is a biologist's dream. Surprisingly, life thrives here. A study in 1996 revealed 48 distinct species, with a staggering 33 found nowhere else on Earth. These cave dwellers are often minuscule, sporting elongated limbs and antennae to feel their way through the perpetual night. Sight is useless here, and pigment unnecessary. Why bother with vibrant colors when there are no eyes to behold them? Now, let's journey to a cave of a completely different character, equally astounding but visually worlds apart. The Giant Crystal Cave, also known as the Cave of the Crystals, nestled in Mexico. These colossal gypsum crystals were unearthed in 2000 by a mining company. After pumping the water from the cavern, 2 miners ventured inside and beheld the unbelievable sight. These breathtaking crystals are, in essence, massive pillars of gypsum, hidden nearly 1,000 feet below the surface. Anchored to the cave's walls and floor, which are intensely hot, scientists believe these behemoths may have been growing for 500,000 years. This explains their immense size, some so large you could practically walk across them. Unfortunately, witnessing this natural wonder is currently impossible. But perhaps that's for the best, as the Giant Crystal Cave is a treacherous environment. For tens of thousands of years, it was submerged in groundwater, forced upward by a magma chamber deep within the planet. The magma heated the water, but eventually the temperature dropped below 136 degrees, 58 degrees C. As a result, the water became saturated with calcium and sulfate, which began to bond, forming gypsum. Over time, these white-tinted crystals gradually filled the cave, growing undisturbed beneath the water. You don't need a spaceship to observe phenomena akin to black holes. Scientists have discovered similar occurrences in the southern Atlantic Ocean. A black hole possesses such immense gravitational pull that nothing, not even light, can escape its grasp once captured. But these oceanic black holes rival their cosmic counterparts in power, though instead of light, they ensnare water. Ocean eddies are enormous whirlpools that spin against the main current. They typically involve billions of tons of water, often dwarfing entire cities in size. These whirlpools are so potent that anything caught within their grasp is doomed to remain. The truly unsettling aspect is how easily one could unknowingly drift into such a vortex. They are so vast that their boundaries are imperceptible until it's too late. Using satellite technology to study these ocean vortices, scientists have mapped the edges of numerous eddies. Mathematical analysis has since confirmed that these whirlpools mirror the behavior of black holes in space. Massive eddies are encircled by incredibly tight barriers where the water flows in closed loops. Not even water can escape these loops, making these ocean vortices function as colossal containers. The water trapped within can differ significantly from the surrounding ocean, not just in temperature, but also in salt content. On the slender Curonian Spit, which separates the Baltic Sea from the Curonian Lagoon, lies one of the most peculiar places on Earth. Locals call it the Dancing Forest. Here, pine trees exhibit bizarre, almost unnatural shapes, twisting into spirals and circles along the forest floor. Various theories attempt to explain this phenomenon. Some suggest a clash of powerful positive and negative energies in the area. More pragmatic explanations. Let's journey to a place where the very trees defy expectations. Along certain coastlines, you'll find trees growing sideways, bent almost double. One prevailing theory suggests the sandy soil beneath is too unstable to support upright growth. But the most widely accepted explanation points to the relentless, powerful winds sweeping in from the sea, sculpting these trees into their unusual forms. Yet, even now, experts haven't reached a definitive conclusion. Now, let's plunge beneath the waves, where we encounter a different kind of mystery. Underwater crop circles. These enigmatic formations were first observed in 1995 near the shores of southern Japan. Local divers dubbed these 7-foot-wide structures mystery circles. For nearly 2 decades, their origin baffled marine biologists. Then, the culprit was unmasked, a male pufferfish. Astonishingly, it takes this dedicated fish over a week to construct a single circle, and aesthetics are clearly paramount. The male meticulously swims within the circle, carving valleys into the sand with his fins. But his artistry doesn't stop there. He also adorns the structure with shells and coral fragments carefully placed to enhance its appeal. This elaborate construction serves a crucial purpose. As the male swims, he pushes sand towards the circle's center, creating a raised mound that will eventually become a nest. Our journey now takes us to the Caribbean, to the coast of Belize, where we find the Great Blue Hole, a colossal sinkhole roughly 1,000 feet in diameter and over 400 feet deep. Imagine, long ago, this was a vast, hidden cave. Over time, rising sea levels filled the cave, causing its roof to collapse, creating the sinkhole we see today. As you descend into the Great Blue Hole's crystal-clear waters, the light fades, giving way to an increasingly dark and mysterious realm. You'll encounter numerous stalactite-filled caves, but entering them is fraught with danger. Without proper guidance, you could easily become hopelessly lost within their labyrinthine depths. At around 50 feet, you'll notice a shimmering effect in the water. The boundary between the sinkhole's salty upper layer and the freshwater abyss below. Perhaps this is the moment to turn back before venturing deeper into the unknown. Deep in the Amazon, an ancient legend spoke of a river so hot it boiled. Most dismissed it as mere folklore, but Peruvian geoscientist Andres Russo questioned its validity. Experts were skeptical, pointing out that hot rivers are typically found only in volcanically active regions. The area described in the legend had no volcanoes. Undeterred, Russo persisted, and in 2011, he discovered the legendary river. The water was indeed scalding, reaching a temperature of 100°C. Not quite boiling, but dangerously close. What astonished Russo most was the river's scale. While hot springs usually feed small thermal pools, this river was 20 feet deep and flowed for almost 4 miles. It stands as a unique and extraordinary phenomenon on our planet. Have you ever considered the hidden lives of mountains? We often perceive them as silent, static giants. But prepare to be surprised. Mountains possess a secret. They have their own unique symphony, a chilling revelation that unfolds under the cover of darkness. Consider Mount Everest, the world's highest peak. As night descends upon the Himalayas, a strange and eerie chorus echoes through the glaciers surrounding this majestic mountain. A team of researchers, led by glaciologist Evgeny Podolsky, braved the freezing temperatures of the Nepalese Himalayas to investigate the source of these unsettling sounds. During the day, the team marveled at Everest's immense size and beauty, working comfortably in the relatively mild weather. But as night fell, temperatures plummeted to as low as 5 degrees. It was then that the mountain revealed its secret. The ice began to fracture, emitting loud, booming sounds that reverberated through the valley. To unravel the mystery, the researchers deployed advanced technology typically used to monitor earthquakes. They placed sensors on the glacier's surface, listening to the vibrations created by the shifting ice. They also analyzed data on temperature and wind, hoping to correlate these factors with the strange sounds emanating from the mountain. Imagine scientists meticulously piecing together a complex puzzle. They sift through vast amounts of data, analyzing every minute detail, and then a breakthrough, a truly momentous discovery. They've identified the culprit behind the glacier's frozen orchestra, a sudden drastic drop in temperature. The glacier's icy surface, a seemingly impenetrable fortress, is in reality acutely sensitive to even the slightest fluctuations. This sensitivity causes the ice to fracture and split, unleashing models. Researchers are actively investigating the function of these mysterious waves. Unlocking their secrets could provide unprecedented insights into the inner workings of our star, the source of life itself. One of the greatest archaeological events in modern history was the discovery of Tutankhamun's tomb. Imagine, in 1922, Howard Carter and his team, funded by Lord Carnarvon, carefully descending into the Valley of the Kings. Inside Tutankhamun's undisturbed resting place, they unearthed almost 5,000 artifacts, including priceless jewelry, intricately woven fabrics, painted vases, and most famously, the iconic golden funeral mask. This mask has since become an instantly recognizable symbol of ancient Egypt. Now, more than a century later, we stand on the cusp of another monumental discovery: the tomb of Cleopatra. Cleopatra VII, Cleopatra VII Philopator, the last active ruler of the Ptolemaic Kingdom of Egypt, reigned from 51 to 30 BCE. Ancient texts abound with tales of her reign and her captivating personality. Yet, the mystery of her final resting place has remained unsolved for millennia. Enter Dr. Kathleen Martinez, an archaeologist who has dedicated decades to studying ancient records and exploring temples around Alexandria. Her research has led her to a compelling conclusion. Cleopatra's tomb lies hidden beneath the ancient city of Taposiris Magna. Founded in 280 BCE, Taposiris Magna was a bustling metropolis on Egypt's northern coast, a hub of trade and industry for tens of thousands of people. And now, it seems Dr. Martinez's hunch may be paying off. She and her team have uncovered a remarkable secret: an underground tunnel stretching nearly 0.8 miles. Carved into the bedrock beneath the temple of Taposiris Magna, this tunnel holds tantalizing clues. Further excavations have revealed artifacts that strongly suggest Cleopatra's tomb lies within its depths. Could it be that she rests there alongside her Roman lover, Mark Antony, Marcus Antonius? Ancient accounts tell of their passionate bond and their united defiance against the Roman Senate, which branded Antony a traitor. Perhaps their love story culminated in a shared burial, hidden away from their enemies. The path to discovery is not without its challenges. Over the centuries, Taposiris Magna has been ravaged by natural disasters. Earthquakes and floods have wreaked havoc, potentially inundating the underground tunnels. But the archaeologists remain hopeful that Cleopatra's tomb has remained untouched, safeguarding countless treasures and invaluable records of royal life during the final dynasty of ancient Egypt. The excavations may lead them into underwater and muddy conditions, demanding considerable time and resources. But the potential reward is immeasurable. While it's premature to declare that Cleopatra's tomb has been found, the evidence is mounting. Clay pots, dozens of coins bearing the likeness of Cleopatra and Alexander the Great, and even a bust of the Egyptian queen have already emerged from the tunnel. Cleopatra continues to captivate the world, standing alongside figures like Ramesses III and Tutankhamun as one of Egypt's most iconic personalities. Her life has inspired countless films, paintings, and books. But what is the source of her enduring appeal? She was renowned for her multifaceted nature, a beautiful and intelligent ruler who steered Egypt out of crisis and transformed it into a prosperous power. Medieval Arabic texts portray her as a scholar of chemistry, mathematics, and philosophy, even suggesting she authored several scientific works. She was a polyglot with exceptional diplomatic skills. Yet, legend also paints her as a femme fatale who bewitched men with her beauty. However, the notion of her unparalleled beauty is largely a Hollywood invention, fueled by portrayals of Cleopatra by famous actresses. Even the Roman Emperor Octavian, Julius Caesar's adopted son, contributed to the narrative of Cleopatra as a cunning seductress seeking to tarnish her image as his enemy. Despite being born in Egypt, Cleopatra's heritage was Greek, descended from one of Alexander the Great's generals. Nevertheless, the Egyptian people embraced her. She mastered their language and showed deep respect for their traditions. She immersed herself in the history, mentality, and customs of ancient Egypt. She revitalized the economy and elevated Egypt's status as a world power. Much of her success stemmed from her shrewdness and charisma. She reveled in theatrical performances and extravagant celebrations, always knowing how to captivate her audience and stage a spectacle. Beneath the veneer of a lover of luxury lay an astute and calculating ruler. Ancient Egypt was a realm of immense wealth and opulence, and Cleopatra was its last great pharaoh. Cleopatra did everything imaginable to accumulate wealth and solidify her, standing on the world stage. Take, for instance, her entanglement with her own brother, Ptolemy the III. Realizing she couldn't overpower him directly, the shrewd queen sought to enlist the support of none other than Julius Caesar. The Roman emperor journeyed to Alexandria, where Cleopatra desperately sought an audience. However, Ptolemy, aware of her intentions, plotted to thwart her meeting with Caesar. Instead of a grand, conspicuous arrival, Cleopatra opted for stealth. She had herself wrapped in a carpet, some say a linen bag, and presented as a gift. The emperor's servants carried this unusual present into Caesar's private chambers. Then, in a dramatic reveal, Cleopatra emerged from the carpet, utterly captivating the Roman emperor with her beauty and unwavering resolve. This daring move forged a powerful alliance as they fell deeply in love. Later, seeking to impress another influential Roman for diplomatic gain, she orchestrated a spectacle for Mark Antony. She arrived to meet him on a magnificent golden barge, its sails a regal purple, propelled by oars of gleaming silver. Cleopatra, costumed as Aphrodite, the goddess of love, reclined beneath a lavish canopy. Her servants, dressed as cupids, fanned her and burned fragrant incense, creating an intoxicating atmosphere. This elaborate performance was no accident. Cleopatra knew that Antony held Greek mythology in high regard and even fancied himself an embodiment of Dionysus. The sheer opulence and theatricality of her arrival utterly charmed him. He was so captivated by this extraordinary woman that he eventually married her. Through her cunning and charm, Cleopatra not only defended her crown, but also strengthened her alliance with Rome. She bore Antony 3 children in Egypt, and together they reveled in extravagant parties, wealth, and power. However, this scandalous relationship between a high-ranking Roman official and the Egyptian queen ignited outrage in Rome. Octavian, Antony's chief rival in the power struggle, seized the opportunity to tarnish his competitor's image. He launched a propaganda campaign, portraying Cleopatra as a devious seductress who had ensnared Antony with her dark magic. He accused Antony of succumbing to her irresistible charms and abandoning his Roman duties. The Roman Senate, swayed by Octavian's propaganda, declared Cleopatra an enemy of the state in 33 BCE. The conflict reached a boiling point when Antony's navy clashed with Octavian's fleet in a decisive naval battle. Octavian's forces emerged victorious, forcing Antony and Cleopatra to flee to Egypt. According to historical accounts, they sought refuge near Alexandria, relentlessly pursued by the Romans. They hid within the walls of one of Cleopatra's palaces, where they met their tragic end. Legends swirl around Cleopatra's demise. Some say she was an expert in poisons and deliberately provoked a venomous snake, a viper, or perhaps an Egyptian cobra, to bite her. Another legend claims she pricked herself with a poison needle. Still others suggest that Cleopatra concealed an ampule of poison within her hairbrush, and when cornered, she used a poison needle to end her life. The exact circumstances remain shrouded in mystery. Scientists continue to investigate, hoping that the discovery of Cleopatra's tomb will finally reveal the truth about her tragic fate. She is remembered as the last pharaoh of Egypt. After her death, Octavian plundered her palaces and temples before returning to Rome, where he rose to become the first Roman emperor. He ruled with skill and expanded the empire's borders until his death at the age of 75. World history might have taken a drastically different course had Cleopatra and Mark Antony not suffered defeat in that fateful naval battle. It's a striking thought that more time separates Cleopatra's reign from Neil Armstrong's moon landing than from the construction of the Great Pyramid of Giza. Armstrong's giant leap for mankind occurred in 1969, a full 2,038 years after Cleopatra's birth, while the construction of the Great Pyramid dates back to 2560 BCE. Imagine the immense span of ancient Egyptian history. Cleopatra is far closer to our time than she was to the era of the pyramids. Now, let's journey to a place that seems utterly alien, a world apart from our own. Imagine a cave sealed off from the outside world for approximately 5.5 million years. The Mobile Cave in Romania. The life within this cave has evolved in complete. Science is a realm of constant discovery, yet even the most brilliant minds encounter enigmas that defy explanation. Let's delve into 10 perplexing phenomena that continue to baffle researchers. Imagine, if you will, being perpetually subjected to a low-frequency hum, its source utterly untraceable. This is the reality for approximately 4% of the global population. The hum, as it's often called, is a sound without borders. Individuals across the globe report hearing it. Its name even varies by location, from Taos hum to Auckland hum, depending on where it's perceived. This sound exists on the very edge of human hearing, often less noticeable outdoors, but amplified within the confines of buildings, especially at night. Perhaps the most unsettling aspect is its permanence. Once you've perceived it, you cannot unhear it. While some claim its origins trace back to London during the era of Charles Dickens and his Christmas Carol, linking it to the fictional humbug, the earliest documented cases emerged in Bristol, UK, during the mid-1970s. Scientists have proposed numerous theories regarding the hum's origin and the selective nature of its perception, yet a definitive answer remains elusive. Could it be generated by the movement of ocean waves along the seabed, causing vibrations as they collide with continental shelves? Or perhaps it's linked to subterranean volcanic activity and seismic events. Even ultra-low-frequency radio signals, utilized for submarine communication, or even the more modern 5G networks, have been proposed as potential culprits. Then there's upsweep, another unidentified oceanic sound, first detected in 1991 in the Pacific Ocean. Its frequency is high enough to be recorded across vast stretches of the ocean. The prevailing theory suggests a connection to underwater volcanic activity. Intriguingly, the sound's intensity has diminished since its initial discovery, though it remains detectable. Furthermore, it exhibits seasonal variations, peaking in volume during the spring and fall months. Is it linked to seasonal shifts in the ocean? The truth remains shrouded in mystery. Next, we turn our attention to a puzzling, cone-shaped monument discovered in the Sea of Galilee in Israel. This structure was inadvertently detected during sonar scans in 2003, though the findings weren't published until 2013. This massive monument weighs an estimated 60,000 tons and was once submerged due to rising water levels. Archaeologists find the monument particularly perplexing, as they are unable to determine its origin, purpose, or cultural affiliation. This imposing and unusual structure remains an enigma at the bottom of the sea. Now, let's journey to Göbekli Tepe in Turkey, a site of immense archaeological significance. Here, we find massive, intricately carved stones dating back approximately 11,000 years. To put that in perspective, these stones predate Stonehenge by a staggering 6,000 years. Ancient peoples erected these megaliths long before the advent of agriculture, metalworking, or even pottery. The existence of Göbekli Tepe challenges our conventional understanding of civilization's timeline, which posits that agriculture preceded monumental construction. What purpose did this site serve? Many archaeologists believe it may be the world's oldest known temple, erected to venerate ancient spirits. Prepare yourself for this name: Paleodictyon nodosum. It sounds more like a complex chemical formula, doesn't it? In reality, it represents a living fossil found far down on the ocean floor. This elusive creature creates distinctive hexagonal burrows in the seafloor. Scientists have yet to identify the burrow's architect. A living fossil implies that the Paleodictyon nodosum is thought to create burrows nearly identical to Paleodictyon fossils found in ancient rock. Is a worm-like animal responsible? Scientists simply don't know. What is evident is that these structures are not random formations created by geological processes. Speaking of fossils, gaze upon this behemoth, informally known as Godzillus. Discovered in 2011 by an amateur paleontologist, that is, a scientist who studies the history of life on Earth through the analysis of fossilized remains, Godzillus measures nearly 7 feet in length and 9 feet in height when upright. This fossil dates back an astounding 450 million years, to a time when Cincinnati was submerged beneath the waves. While some believe it to be a fossilized algae mound, other scientists hold differing views. The true nature of Godzillus remains a subject of debate. Finally, consider these massive tunnels unearthed in South America. These tunnels are estimated to be between 8,000 and 10,000 years old. Researchers initially stumbled upon a series of colossal burrows, remarkable for their size and meticulous construction. Geologists were astonished. Imagine journeying to South America, to the heart of the Paleolithic Amazon. Here, something extraordinary awaits. Since the 1930s, researchers have been puzzled by colossal subterranean structures. At first, they were dismissed as ancient archaeological projects. But that theory crumbled when scientists discovered gigantic claw marks etched into the walls and ceilings. These weren't mere scratches. They were the unmistakable signatures of a long-extinct giant. Geologists now strongly believe that these are the burrows of gigantic ground sloths and armadillos, creatures of immense size that roamed this land millennia ago. This network of tunnels represents the largest known burrow system from the Paleolithic age in the Amazon. Yet, a profound mystery remains. How could such meticulously crafted structures arise naturally? The plot thickened when another cave, strikingly similar, was found hundreds of miles away. Then, more and more began to surface. Today, over 1,500 numbers of these Paleolithic burrows have been documented across Brazil. Even more intriguing, some are interconnected, forming vast tunnel networks that occasionally open into massive chambers. What drove these colossal creatures to engineer such complex underground realms? Now, let's shift continents and plunge into another natural enigma: Picture the Mekong River in Thailand, specifically in October. Here, a breathtaking spectacle unfolds annually. The Naga fireballs. Local legends whisper that these fireballs are a summons for Buddha's return, conjured by the river serpents themselves. A captivating myth, but what does science have to say? The truth is, no definitive explanation exists. Are they caused by some kind of flammable gas igniting spontaneously? The mystery endures. These fireballs erupt from the river's surface, soaring as high as 990 feet, resembling brilliant fireworks. They flash with reddish-orange hues, then vanish as quickly as they appear. Speaking of legends, who can resist the allure of Atlantis? For millennia, the story of this lost city, swallowed by the ocean around 11,000 years ago, has captivated imaginations. Scientists, treasure hunters, philosophers, all have sought traces of this fabled world. Could the Bimini Road be a clue? In 1968, divers stumbled upon peculiar stones off the coast of North Bimini Island in the Bahamas. These stones appeared unnaturally uniform, arranged in an orderly row, hinting at artificial construction. Initially, scientists were baffled. However, carbon dating revealed that these formations were the result of geological processes. No tool marks, no signs of deliberate stacking, just the patient work of erosion over eons. While research continues, the prevailing scientific view suggests that the Bimini Road is a natural phenomenon. The time of Atlantis, it seems, has not yet come. Imagine this. You're strolling along a serene beach when, suddenly, you witness an astonishing sight. Dozens of octopuses, walking, crawling right before your eyes. In 2017, a group in Wales experienced precisely this surreal event. Why did these creatures emerge from the ocean depths? The answer remains elusive. The observers reported seeing 20 to 30 octopuses crawling across the sand. They examined the creatures for signs of injury, but found none. Driven by compassion, they returned the animals to the sea. Yet, the octopuses persisted, repeatedly crawling back onto the shore, even under the cover of darkness. Experts acknowledge the difficulty of pinpointing the cause without a thorough physical examination. Speculations abound. Could it be overcrowding? Was there something in the water driving them to seek refuge on land? Octopuses, Octopus vulgaris, are highly intelligent creatures, and their behavior is often complex and driven by factors we don't fully understand. Interestingly, octopuses are formidable predators in their own right. Some studies suggest that overfishing of larger marine animals that prey on octopuses may lead to a population boom, potentially driving them to seek new hunting grounds or shelter. However, without further research, these remain just theories. Our journey now takes us to an entirely different realm, the heart of our solar system. Scientists have recently detected a novel type of wave coursing through the sun. These waves defy conventional understanding, moving in the opposite direction of the sun's rotation and at astonishing speeds, velocities that challenge our current scientific